Science shows us that the happiest, most successful people out there, they all have one thing in common. Now, it has nothing to do with like any sort of a special thing they've been given, or discipline, or a talent, or luck. And as parents, entrepreneurs, people are working away your 9 to 5, like we're all looking for whatever that next layer of success is for us. And we're constantly told like, well, you've got to have the right talent for that thing, or discipline and time management. You got to be lucky. All these things come into play, and it has nothing to do with any one of those. Like the thing that they have in common, it's actually generosity, but not the kind that you would traditionally think of. So over the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how using your natural gifts, your superpowers, those things that come naturally to you, like how you use them to serve others, doesn't just make you feel good, but it literally is going to rewire your brain in every sort of way to have more success and to open up the universe to more opportunities to come your way. So stick with me. We're going to unpack all of this for you and how it pertains to the giver method and how you can use it in your daily life without having to burn everything down, start over, go find yourself in some sort of a retreat or out in the middle of the woods. Like how you can do that right with where you're at right now. Now, I know I used to think that success meant finally getting all of the things that I wanted. I checked off all the boxes and I got more recognition, or I had better opportunities, the right connections, enough credentials, the house, the things, all that, like that's how I could know I made it, right? So I did what every expert said to go do. I set some goals. I read some books. I pushed through strategies that felt completely unnatural to me. Strategic networking that drained me, and self-promotion that made me cringe, and skill building in areas that never really fit who I was. But the harder that I chased success using those sort of formulas and trying to just fit myself into other people's boxes, the further away it started to feel. I got exhausted from trying to really perform my way into fulfillment. And I know so many of us out there put on different roles and hats, and we go into these performance modes that are outside of our natural design. And gosh, I got frustrated watching people seem to just win and succeed effortlessly, while I was just grinding twice as hard to just stay in the game. And then one day it hit me. It wasn't that I was there was something wrong. It wasn't undisciplined. It wasn't that I lacked any sort of a talent or luck or whatever. I was chasing success backwards. I'd spent years trying to get before I gave anything. And when in reality, giving was the thing that would have gotten me further along faster. And that realization, it changed so much for me, because when you understand that the key to success isn't about forcing more strategy or anything like that, but it's about flowing through service. You stop fighting against yourself, your natural wiring, and all of your abilities. You actually you stop trying to earn worth from other places, and you stop chasing results that never really will end up satisfying. You stop trying to live up to someone else's version of you that you never need to be or want to be. And so that's what we're diving in today. How you reset your mind for success. How do you flip the formula that you've been taught your entire life? Because the truth is, success doesn't come from acquiring more. It comes from activating what you already have when you create impact for others. And so we're going to dive deep into that. I always like to say, though, at the top of my videos, and I forgot to, welcome to the Giver Method channel. If you're new here, my name is Jake Talbert. Super excited that you're here. If you're back for another video, welcome back. Properly introduce myself, like I said, Jake Talbert, and I'm the founder and author of this book. It's called The Giver Method. Everything we're covering today is grounded in this book, and right now I've made it available for as little as $2 for you. So I put a link in the description to Amazon where you can go get yourself a copy. Go get yourself a copy. Go get someone you know a copy. Or pause the video. Go buy a couple copies. Give it to somebody. Use it for yourself. Everything in here is grounded in my story, where I've walked a similar path to you. I'm a parent of 3. I'm an entrepreneur. I've worked in the corporate sea of cubicles, and everything in here, exercises, action items, all the things are designed to help you to discover your true gifts and superpowers, create more impact, influence, and value for people, have better engagements with people, improve your relationship, relationships all around, leading you to a more happy, a more fulfilled life, more joy, more delight, all just because you're doing it through this idea of generosity. And it's everything that you can put into place to start living in that sort of a way, without having to burn everything down and go, find yourself in the woods, and it's not woo-woo in any sort of way. It's all direct, actionable items. So use the link in the description, or pause the video, go to Amazon, look up The Giver Method by Jake Talbert, and get yourself a copy. Get someone else a copy. It will change your life. Here by the end of the year, you could be living a totally different life and have a totally different outlook on how things are going for you. Now, if we try to ground this principle, today's topic, of success, sometimes asking some questions might have hit home for you. I don't know if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right. Like I said, I've been there, I've done that. where you're setting goals, you're learning those skills, working harder, and you're just still not seeing the results that you want. You're not feeling like you're there. Or maybe you're watching others move forward while you feel stuck and exhausted, wondering like, maybe I'm missing something here. Or maybe you've hit the point where like you've been chasing the money, the recognition, the status, and now you just feel empty. Once again, if any of that hits true, like there's nothing, you're not behind, you're not missing anything, you're not broken, you're not lacking discipline or anything like you've just been trying to succeed using a system that works against how you work, how you achieve things, how you the happiness you get from those sort of achievements. Like you've been working against it. And like the traditional success that's out there, like there's a culture around it that teaches you to acquire before you contribute, and that's what we're changing today. Because research, tons of data, science of how your brain works, like shows the complete opposite to be true. When you focus on using your natural strengths, your gifts, your superpowers to create value for others, you don't just feel better, you perform better, you grow faster, you sustain success longer, and you actually enjoy the process as a part of that. Like it's totally life-changing. If you look at the people that you admire the most, the ones who seem to effortlessly be successful, they're not hustling harder. They're just living aligned. They found ways to use their gifts to create like transformation for others, and success found them as a byproduct of that. And so that's what this video is about, is how to reset your mind. Stop chasing the success, through any sort of effort. Start actually creating that success for you through impact. It's a big shift for people. A lot of people don't quite understand that. Like, you're not being selfless by doing this. You're being really strategic, because like you're doing it in the most natural way possible to you. Yeah, you're finally working with your design instead of against it. And so I'm going to walk you through 4 really simple but powerful principles and strategies that help you stop exhausting yourself with self-improvement, like the treadmill of that, and start living in the sweet spot where success feels inevitable. Because it's built on who you already are, not who you're trying to become. And once again, if you want to dive deeper into that, go get yourself a copy of The Giver Method. Everything in here is grounded in it. Go get it on Amazon, links below, or pause the video. You can also go to thegivermethod.com, learn more about us, get on our mailing list, check out the free resources. Go follow us on social media, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, under the handle of The Giver Method. Now, if you're ready for some personal support, some one-on-one coaching, to help walk you through this type of stuff, then check out the link below about coaching. There's a video there you could watch, and if it makes sense for us to talk, we could talk. If you run a team, host a podcast, have some sort of event where people gather that this sort of a message would resonate with them, then check out the speaking and podcasting link below. Now, before we dive in, if you haven't already, hit subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, drop any comments that land for you, all of the YouTube-y things, do those. I always love hearing what parts hit home for you. So without any other delay, we've teed up this idea. We're going to start diving deeper into it with these 4 kind of key areas. And the first one I want to focus on is proving to your, we've got this backward program mind, and we need to prove to that backwards program mind that giving attracts opportunities. So think of the principle this way, it's proof that giving works. It's a gift, impact reset. Because most of us, like I said, we're trained to chase success backwards. That's what I had been doing. We've all been told that we need to get more before we can give more. I need to get more credentials in order to do these things. I need more connections, more confidence, more proof that we belong. But that get before you give mindset is exactly what's keeping so many smart and capable people stuck. You have to understand that you are the only person that has your combination of gifts and superpowers and experiences, which means that you are the only person uniquely designed to create the impact that you can make. And there are people out there waiting for it. But you're stuck on the sidelines because you're waiting for the more thing, whatever that looks like. You already have gifts that are creating value right now, and you've been too busy chasing the next thing to see it. And so that's where this gift, your impact you're making with your gifts, the reset flips that for you. It's not about hype or blind optimism in any way. You're building real evidence, the receipts that you can put into your book of memories and such, of the evidence, real evidence of your natural strengths helping others, and that it doesn't drain you, and it's actually creating opportunities. It's attracting opportunities and more energy back to you. I mean, if you ever thought man, I just don't have enough to offer yet, here's your reset button, okay? So here's what I want you to do. The first thing, for the next 2 weeks, track every single time that you use one of your natural gifts to help someone else, no matter how it shows up. And if you need help with figuring out what your gifts are, go get yourself a copy of The Giver Method, or check out the Giver Roadmap resource that we make available to people. take your gifts and we're gonna start jotting down every time you've used it. So grab a notebook, open up your notes app, whatever it is, and you're gonna write down 5 things each time your natural gifts and superpowers show up. So number 1, the first thing is like the gift that you used, and be very specific. We don't want to be like, I helped somebody, I helped them. It's like, no, I used my clarity gift to help a teammate simplify a messy project. Not, hey, I was nice to somebody. It's like, I used my encouragement gift to help my teenager see progress when they felt stuck. Like, define it and be super specific with what it is. The second thing you're going to do, all right, is you're going to say, well, what did I do? What did I do as a part of that? Like, what did I do in giving my gift? Like, what action did you take? Maybe you connected 2 people who needed each other. Maybe you explained something clearly. Maybe you helped a friend organize chaos, whatever. So what did you do? Third thing, what was their response? What changed for them? Did they relax? Did they get clarity? Did they take action? Like, that feedback is evidence of like your gift is creating change, transformation, and impact. Now, the fourth thing is like unexpected outcomes. So this is a spot to reflect and say like, hey, did something come back later? And as you start to track these, sometimes these take a little bit more time. But maybe was there a referral? Was there an introduction? Was there a compliment that led to some sort of an opportunity? Once again, that's not luck. That's reciprocity in action as a part of that. And the fifth thing is, how did it feel? Did it drain you? Did it fill you up? You're going to start to notice, like, when you use your gifts, your superpowers, like, you're going to leave conversations and situations more energized, not exhausted as a part of that. All right. So those are, what gift did you use? What did you do? What was their response? Any unexpected outcomes? And then how it felt. And after just 2 weeks, go back and look for the patterns. Like, what things show up constantly? Which gifts created the biggest transformation? Which moments left you feeling the most alive? That's your lane. That's your place of impact and your fulfillment. Like, that's the impact and fulfillment. Like, they're overlapping. That's where you need to be. This exercise will completely rewire how you think about success. Like, you don't just believe that your contribution creates opportunity. You actually see it happening. You have hard evidence that your gifts are already making a difference. That's how people respond to them. The opportunities often just start to flow through generosity, not because you're grinding or hustling in any sort of way. Tons of data shows that there are people who like lead with their strengths and serve others. Like, they perform better, they stay more engaged, they experience greater well-being, happiness, joy, satisfaction. All the, like, honestly, like, you don't need the science to even back it. You're gonna know because you have your own proof. You can feel it. Here's what changes when you do this. Like, stop waiting to feel qualified enough. You stop chasing what you think you're missing. You stop trying to live up to somebody else's Instagram reel. You start realizing that giving, like, what you already have, what you're already doing, you're not recreating yourself in any sort of way or developing new things. What you already have, you're opening new doors that you maybe been trying to force open for years. That's sort of a shift of getting to giving. From exhaustion to alignment, from chasing success to letting success just come find you as a part of that. Now that leads us into the second area that I want to focus on, okay, which is proof that you're already making the impact. So, like, once again, this is your reverse resume. So let's talk about, like, once again, we've all been taught to measure success by what we get, the promotions, the titles, the income, the recognition. But, the model, like, basically guarantees that you'll always feel like you're behind someone else, because, like, no matter how far you go, there's always someone with a little bit more than you. And so that's why you use this reverse resume. And I love this term. I can't remember where I got it from, but it flips how you define success, from what you've gotten to what you've given. So we're, once again, getting back to this idea of what have I given? Instead of keeping score on your credentials, keep score on the evidence of transformation. So here's where it gets powerful. Like, start measuring your impact instead of the achievements. Like, you start to see, like, real success stories isn't about what you've earned, but like who you helped and what you felt after. Maybe the employee who's been waiting for that promotion that never comes, but meanwhile, like, you've helped half your team grow and you get better at what you're doing as a part of that. Maybe it's an entrepreneur who, rather than you're chasing revenue goals, like, you're not realizing the real result is the 50 clients who now see possibilities that they couldn't have seen before. Real success, that sort of ideas, those are real success that no spreadsheet is going to show you. And so here's what I want you to do. Like, you're going to create a document, write it out or type it up or whatever, where it's like, this is my reverse resume. It's not about job titles. It's about people. Each entry, you're going to capture really 4 quick things. Like, okay, who have I helped and what were they facing? Be specific. A coworker was overwhelmed by a project. My teenager was struggling with confidence. My client was unsure how to move forward. And then the gift that you used. So the one, it's you're documenting what's happening in the process in step one. This one, we're going to look back on our past and start to identify these things. Like, what have I done where I've been able to, like, in hindsight, see this massive impact? What gift did I use? Tie it directly to your natural strengths, those superpowers. Gift of clarity, encouragement, problem solving. The list goes on and on of all the gifts that you could have. This helps you to see which of your gifts creates more transformation. What changed for them? How has their situation shifted because of what you did? Do they feel clearer, calmer, confident? Finally, they're taking action. Once again, that's evidence of the impact. It's not luck, it's impact. You're creating that as a part of what you're doing. And then any unexpected outcomes again, like, did they refer someone? Did they recommend something? Did some new opportunity come its way? Like, that's how contribution starts to compound quietly at first, and then all of a sudden things just start to roll in. You keep adding to your reverse resume over time, and after a few months, you see the patterns. You see your gifts create, you combine these first two principles together, and all of a sudden you start to be like, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff I create, all the value and impact, and that creates all sorts of new confidence and ways of showing up. At the same time, you'll start to notice those opportunities that the universe is giving back to you. This single practice will completely change how you see yourself. You stop defining success by what you acquire. You start defining it by what you're going to create. That shift, it's freedom. You're no longer comparing yourself to any highlight reel. You're measuring success based on the difference you're making. Something that no one else can really duplicate, because you're the only person that has your combination of gifts and superpowers and experiences. So no one else can duplicate that impact that you're making. Once again, stop waiting to be successful. You realize you already are, because every time you use your gifts to make someone else's life better, that's real and measurable success. It's not about someday when you have a title, when you have the thing. It's about right now. Every conversation, every encouragement, every moment that you show up with intentionally with your authentic gifts, you can create transformation in someone else's life. So if you've been feeling like you're not far enough along, then do that reverse resume. Start that today, because sometimes you don't need to chase new accomplishments. You just need to see the ones that you've already created in people's lives. And that takes us to the third principle, which is I want people to start looking at these 30-day sprints, 30-day resets that they could do. We've talked in the last little bit about using your gifts more. This one's about a service reset, where consistent giving becomes one of the fastest routes to your success is in something like a 30-day service reset. Because most people know that generosity, it can lead to success. The people who know that, but maybe they don't fully trust it. They think sure, that sounds nice, Jake, that generosity is going to lead to more success or more opportunities. But I've got goals, I've got bills, I've got deadlines, checklists, things, tasks I got to get done. I can't give without getting. I need something. And so that's why this 30-day service reset exists, why it's so good to do these types of things. It's to give you proof that your contribution isn't delayed success. It's the engine that drives your success. You can read about this this stuff all day long, but until you feel the results, right, of giving with zero agenda, everything we're talking about is just theory. So this is where you start to make it real. So this is where you're going to pick one of your gifts. Something that comes so naturally and easy to you, and for the next 30 days, you're going to use it every single day to help one person. You're going to intentionally set that every morning where you're going to say, today, I'm using this gift to help somebody, or I'm going to use this gift today to help so-and-so. Get specific. The more specific, the better. All right? Every single day, I'm going to use it at least once, and I'm going to use it with no payment, no pitch, no expectation, just pure contribution to help someone else out. And each day ask yourself, who could benefit? Who could benefit from this today? How else could I use it to benefit people? And then we're going to go back through those same sort of questions. Okay, well, who did you help? What gift did you use? What changed for them? How did you feel? And what were the unexpected results? Was it a connection, a thank you, the ripple of, the plan that started to come together? Whatever. You're going to keep going back to these questions. When you keep going back to those, you start to realize more and more, I help these people with these types of things. Here's what it creates for them and how it makes me feel. And I've seen these things come back to me. It's really simple. What you're going to notice is around week 2 of that, things shift. You feel more energized, more alive, more you. You start getting messages out of nowhere, people thanking you, introducing you, recommending you. You're going to realize that your gifts aren't a limited resource. The more you use them, the stronger they get. By day 30, you're going to see really probably there's 4 things that start to jump out that I know people refer to. You start to realize that your mastery grows naturally, because the more you give, the sharper your gifts become. The opportunities that are out there are going to multiply for you, because What you give away freely finds its way back, like that no plan could have ever done. It just finds its way back in different ways. You know, your energy is going to be increased. No longer like feeling drained by the grind. You're fueled because you're in alignment. You're using these gifts, and your reputation expands. People just start describing you not by a title, but by the impact you create for them. You know, because this challenge 30-day thing, like, it rewires your relationship with success. You're not going to wait till you arrive before you serve. You just start realizing, I'm going to serve with where I am right now, and I'm going to stop chasing opportunities and just start becoming the person that opportunities come to, because I'm putting out there in the universe that I'm delivering my gifts and superpowers to others. Most importantly, like, you stop doubting whether your gifts are enough, because 30 days straight, you're going to see how it's changing people's lives and the things that come back. That's the kind of proof that your mind can't argue with. And once you have that, you never go back to the old way of thinking, like the exhausted way of chasing success again. You never go back to that. And that takes us to the fourth final area I want to talk about, is like, you know, how to see with proof that giving beats chasing every time. You know, success source check-ins. You know, even after you've seen generosity work, your old programming is still going to start to try to whisper, like, maybe like, oh, well, it's just luck. You can't build real success this way. You know, and so this why this matters, of like, there are success source check-ins. It's about like proving to yourself month after month that contribution like doesn't just feel better, it performs better. You know, this is where your faith in the process turns into confidence built by data. We're no longer just trusting that it's going to pay us back. We know with a certainty that when we do these things, it's giving back to us. You're not guessing, you're collecting proof that your greatest wins come like when you lead with impact, not when you grind through those tactics. So what you want to do is, at the end of every month, you're going to take 10-15 minutes to reflect on all the good stuff that happened. Big, small, new opportunities, new connections, wins, kind words. Write them all down, and then ask yourself the question, like, where did this win, opportunity, success, connection, whatever, where did it actually come from? Was it because I was chasing something, or was it, you know, strategic networking? Was it positioning? Was it hustling? Or was it from giving? Using my natural gifts, helping someone, you know, by adding value with no strings attached, creating impact that came back later. Like, where did it come from? And be honest with yourself. Sometimes that amazing opportunity that you landed through maybe aggressive networking will show up as way more stress than satisfaction. But the person who referred you months later because like you helped them for free, they usually feel way more aligned and easy and energized. After you've tracked that for a few months, like, patterns appear. You know, you're going to notice that probably 70-80% of your best opportunities, the ones that fit and flow and feel fulfilling, trace back to generous moments, not strategic ones. And the chasing, like, it'll show up like as lots of effort with little return. And like, that's really your proof. You know, once you have a few months of notes of things to track, like, look for 3 things. Like, okay, where did the wins really come from? You know, if it's meaningful growth, referrals, recognition, like whatever, like, come from contribution actions, you know, once again, where do they come from? That's a cue. Like, hey, man, I can double down on what's working and start to see more of those come. You know, ask the second thing is like, how each type of success feels. You know, contribution sourced wins tend to feel aligned and energizing. So like, you know, versus if I push harder and I go for an acquisition source win, those feel heavy. You know, you can identify like where to redirect your energy. Like, if contribution gives you 80% of your best outcomes with 20% of the effort, like, well, it's time to start flipping the formula on how you show up. Stop giving your best energy to the tactics that drain you and start investing it in what returns, like, in what returns to you because, you know, of what you're naturally putting into it. You know, you're going to also notice like something that's crazy, like generosity compounds. Month 1, you might see 3 contributions based on win. Month 6, like, that number is going to double or triple. Every gift that you give plants seeds that grows roots that you can't see yet. And over time, they catch back up to you. You know, because once you have the hard proof, doubt loses its power. You stop second guessing yourself. You start like thinking, like you stop thinking that you need to, like, I just need to play the game to succeed. I need to just go with the punches. Stop forcing yourself into systems that were never built for you. You start trusting, like, hey, this is the way I'm wired. And if I just give from that place, if I show up and help others, if I build others through that, like, that's my advantage. That's the thing that's going to really benefit me, you know? And monthly reflection, like, it becomes your reality check. It shows you that your contribution isn't like it's not just a moral path. It's one of the most strategic that you can do. When you've got like months of evidence staring back at you, you'll never again wonder whether or not like giving really works, because you know, you've lived it, you've tracked it, you've watched it compound over time. And that's how generosity, like that sort of a strategy, like really starts to take off. It's not just a philosophy or a woo-woo tactic. And so if we bring that all home, kind of wrap it all up, we started with some simple but powerful truths that the reason traditional success strategies haven't worked for you isn't because of something that's wrong or unmotivated or undisciplined, broken, whatever. Like, it's because you've been playing the game backwards. You've been told to get before you give, to prove before you can serve, to chase success instead of create it. But that's where the shift is. Like, when you flip that formula, you start leading from your gifts instead of waiting until you feel like ready enough or the perfect time that never comes. Everything will change. You stop forcing progress and you start flowing with purpose. You stop chasing validation. You start creating real impact and transformation for people around you. Once again, I'm not doing this as a motivational talk or just to get things out there. Like, there is actual science and lived experience in it. Like, the data out there shows that when you use your natural strengths to help others, your brain literally rewards you. You feel more confident, more energized, more fulfilled. That's not a coincidence. That's just how we are wired. That's part of what you do. So what I want you to do is, like, I just want you to start by doing something. Not next month, not when things slow down. Like, do something today. One of the things we talked about. Maybe a 2-week gift impact. Start that out. Maybe start working on your reverse resume. Maybe you start putting in motion how you're going to use a gift of yours over the next 30 days and do that service reset. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you do something, because success doesn't show up because you chase it hard enough. It shows up the moment you start giving from your gifts, your superpowers, the things that that you already have. And when you do that, the opportunities, the universe pays you back. They find you. The energy starts returning. Fulfillment stops feeling like a someday word. It becomes part of your everyday experience. And that's the whole concept, and why I'm like, man, if you want to dive deeper into that sort of thing, that's why you'd go get yourself a copy of The Giver Method. What we're talking about is so grounded in this. That's why I've made it available for as little as $2 on Amazon if you use the link in the description right now. It's packed with tools, real-world exercises, just like these, that are designed for people like you. If you want help in your corner, more one-on-one support, check out the one-on-one coaching program we have down in the description. It makes super clear how your unique strengths and how you use them with more purpose. So check out that link. If you have that podcast, that event, stage, audience, whatever, that needs a message like this, let's talk about how we bring it to them so we can make an impact in their lives. I love doing that type of thing. And before you go, like the video, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and drop a comment telling me which part of this hit home for you, because I read every one of them. Just remember this, that the fastest path to your own success runs straight through your generosity. It's not a strategy, it's not a hack, it's not a someday thing. It's in the gifts that you already carry, the ones that are waiting to be used right this moment. So, let's reset your mind. Lead with impact. Give from your gifts and superpowers first, and watch how success starts to come into play as a part of that. How does it actually show up for you? With that, I'll just tell you to have a great rest of your day, and we will catch you in our next video.